Hello, welcome to SaienoTech. My name is Saieno, and today we'll be covering gaming on Linux. When gaming on Linux, there are 4 main options that allow you to get started easily with good results. Native games, Proton through Steam, Lutris, and Epic Game Store games through Heroic Games Launcher. In this video, we'll be discussing native gaming on Linux, or games specifically made for Linux that do not use a compatibility layer like Proton. With all that said, let's jump right in. Native gaming in Linux works like any other operating system. Download a game, give permission to run, then install and play. Albion Online is a multi-platform MMORPG that has a native Linux game client. Once installed, the game opens and runs as expected, natively on your system. There are many games with native Linux clients available, and if you're having trouble finding games for Linux, GOG and Steam have a large library of native Linux games and makes it easy to set up and install them. For DRM-free standalone titles, GOG, or Good Old Games, is a fantastic storefront for a large number of native Linux titles. Having the freedom to purchase and download a native Linux game without digital rights management is generally my preferred method of purchasing Linux titles. If you haven't seen what GOG has to offer, it's well worth your time and investment in their library of games. If you already have an existing Steam library, you can filter your list of games within Steam to only show games with native Linux clients. You might be surprised by how many games you already own with a native Linux client, such as Torchlight 2. When installing a multi-platform game through Steam, Steam will automatically install the client specific to your operating system, whether you're on Windows, Mac, or Linux. When buying new games within Steam's store, you can filter the results to those that have native Linux clients, making your buying decision easier. Aside from standalone and Steam-provided Linux titles, most distros provide a games section within their respective software centers. Titles available within the software center are freely available for download, with a variety of game genres to choose from, such as kart racers, platformers, strategy games, and shooters. Aside from games, you'll also find emulators for popular gaming consoles, and ports for games with open source engines like Quake 3 Arena. Native Linux games are fairly popular when it comes to indie titles, but for AAA titles it may take a few years for a viable native port to release. These are usually handled by port studios like Feral Interactive, but with the improvements to Wine and projects like Proton, native Linux port studios may be a thing of the past. If you have any favorite native Linux games, feel free to share them in the comments below. This is Saieno with SaienoTech. Thanks for watching.